NRP. This and every Monday, 8:30 to 10 p.m. Join host Stephen Semanas and the NRP candidates as they amplify your voice.
Good evening. I'm Steve Manners, and I'm here, as usual, every Monday with your voice with the NRP. Tonight's guest, Rohan Al's caretaker for constituency number 5. Tonight, the focus will be on youth, a celebration of youth achievement. And we've got standing by 2 young divisions who have been in the news recently. First, we've got Devon Cornelius, who celebrated a birthday yesterday, back in the Federation after being on the U.S. mainland for 3 weeks. And of course, Dark Brown with the West Indies team in Antigua, recently chosen as the masseur for the West Indies senior team, by my reckoning, the youngest person to have that job. Of course, the show is interactive, 766-7312, 669-7312, and 469-7953. We let you know when it is appropriate for you to call. You certainly wouldn't be calling while we got our 2 guests on the line. But let me say good evening, Rohan Al. It's nice to have you once again.
Hey, Steve, it's good to be back. Your voice with the NRP, as usual. Just want to begin by extending birthday and anniversary greetings to those within the parish of St. Thomas's who are celebrating. Want you to continue to enjoy your birthday, anniversary, be today or anytime this week or this month. We're in November and getting close to wrapping up another year. 12 days away from seeing the end of the hurricane season, as well as we get close to Thanksgiving. So much to be thankful for, and so I'm happy to be here. Of course, I'm in my Jaguar colors tonight.
Oh. It's green.
Yeah. Continue to celebrate
a massive victory, and of course, your daughter being chosen as best female player.
Yeah. So, congratulations to the school. Congratulations to the team. I know yesterday Sunday they were treated to a day at Four Seasons, and so.
Wow. As compliments of you.
Other supporters of the school would seen it fit to reward them. I mean, they truly had an exceptional season. They played some really good football, and want to say congratulations to the Hamilton brothers, Jaron, Jamie, Chicky, who would have taken the team, not the first year, successive years under the tutelage, and it really imparted quality football knowledge to the youngsters. And so we are hoping that the trend continues and continue to repeat as champions of the primary school football championship. So kudos to the school and to the team and the community who came out to support them in that regard.
Well, really a nice gesture, and of course, this Sunday, November 24th, the big NRP convention under the theme Navigating Challenges, Restoring Hope, Preparing for Governance. And of course, all of this is for the young people of the island. They're the ones who we have to look out for, and we're trying to shape the future to be beneficial to them. So we will focus on young people tonight in many aspects. And of course, we move towards the budget session on December 3rd, so just about 2 weeks out. And we'll look at what we would like to see in that document as we go forward into 2025. But as I said, we're going to entertain 2 calls. First, Devon Cornelius standing by. So, Devon, please give us a call, fresh from England, and, from the United States, really. Why am I saying England? Where he observed the 2024 presidential election. Someone has entered. So, Devon, feel free to give us a call. We're waiting your call. Devon Cornelius, and then after that, okay, I think here he comes. Good evening, sir. Good evening, and belated happy birthday.
Good evening, Mr. Manners. Good evening to your guest and the listeners at home and abroad. Thank you so much for the birthday greetings.
Thank you. I hope you had a fantastic day.
It was a very good one. Happy to be alive and looking forward to more great things.
Imagine you in your early 20s saying you're happy to be alive. You should be alive, shouldn't you?
Well, when you look around and you see what's happening around you, life is short, and so it's always good to make the best of the time that you have and do as much as you possibly can.
Okay, well, we have had yourself and Dark Brown before on this program together to give a youth perspective, and we intend to do much of the same. Of course, you focusing on journalism and Dark Brown on sports, cricket in particular. So when we wrap up your interview, we'll be joined by Dark Brown, who's with the West Indies team in Antigua. So you have completed the 3-week engagement on the United States to observe the 2024 presidential elections. For those who are not aware, give us a synopsis of your 3-week engagement, how you got there in the first place.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you, Mr. Manners. So at a glance, it was the International Visitor Leadership Program, in other words, IVLP. And that program is a program that is sponsored by the U.S. Department of State, and it is one of their professional exchange programs. So how it is designed, people are chosen to visit the United States for about 3 weeks to a month and engage in different topics in their fields of experience. In terms of how I got to participate in such a program, there is no application for the IVLP. Participants are nominated and selected on an annual basis by the U.S. embassies around the world. So in this case, the U.S. Embassy in Barbados, which serves the OECS, they nominated me based off of the contribution that I've made to media in St. Kitts and Nevis and across the region. And it is also important for me to note that I was not the only name that had been suggested from across the OECS countries, but after about 2 years of review, background check, all sorts of things, they decided to choose Devon Cornelius from Nevis. So for me, that is truly amazing.
Oh, amazing indeed. And that took you to several U.S. cities. Tell us about your itinerary.
It did. So we started the journey in Washington, D.C., Mr. Manners, and the focus in Washington, D.C., of course, you visit the U.S. Capitol. We visited places like the U.S. Department of State. We were at the Pentagon. Then we did we were supposed to visit the White House, but, the U.S. elections, security reasons, we were not allowed to, but we came close. And then we visited other monuments and so on in Washington, D.C. But the focus in that city was to examine at the federal, state, and even local level to counter the dissemination of disinformation and misleading reporting, right? And so as media professionals, they wanted to ensure that we understand how to detect misleading reporting, how to detect disinformation and what is misinformation. And then we were also introduced to the impact of disinformation and how it is a threat to democracy. After we left Washington, D.C., we then moved to Detroit, Michigan. And the focus on that was the impact of the disinformation on marginalized communities. And we also engaged with local media outlets, engaged with the Detroit Public Radio. Then we drove to Kalamazoo, and we focused on the reinvention of local journalism through traditional and new media. So we talked about radio and television and how they are still relevant in today's media landscape, but we also looked at new media in terms of social media, through Facebook, WhatsApp, and the other social media platforms, and how we can use best practices to ensure that there is media literacy amongst our citizenry. After we left Kalamazoo, Michigan, we then flew all the way to New Orleans, Louisiana, which I must say is an amazing city. And for me, was the closest thing to home in terms of the climate and the culture
Hmm.
there. We focused on increasing community trust. We know we have this issue where there are some people who would say that they don't trust the media. And so we looked at increasing community trust by really integrating good journalistic ethics and media ethics in our practices. And so we spoke about things like a truth sandwich, where you tell the truth. If you have to repeat the lie, you repeat the lie, but you end by repeating the truth again. We looked at fact checking, ensuring that before you put out information, you ensure that the information is factual, you back check your sources, you ensure that your sources are credible, and we believe that these are things that would improve the trust between the media and the community. After spending a few days in New Orleans, we then flew to Arizona, Tucson, and we looked at techniques to debunk disinformation in a polarized setting at the local and the state level. We also engaged with a few media outlets there, NBC News, Southern Arizona. We did a tour of their news set and also engaged with a few of the staff members, some who are new to journalism and some who have been in journalism their entire lives. And of course, the entire trip ended in Phoenix, Arizona, where we looked at capacity building initiatives for us as media professionals and the functions of different media types to dismantle fake news. But the highlight of the program, Mr. Manos, was to counter disinformation, particularly during elections. We have seen, not just in the United States, but even here in the Caribbean, where people set out to basically tell lies, basically mislead the population, basically ensure that they get their narrative across. And we have seen where that has impacted the turnout of elections. So here are a group of journalists from across the world participating in this program with the intention of taking what they have learned back to their home countries to improve the media landscape there.
Now, I spoke to you on November 4th while you were in Detroit, Michigan, I think it was.
Yes.
Were you as surprised as were many people in the Federation that Donald J. Trump, despite all his legal woes, was able to create history? Of course, only one president before that, Grover Cleveland, in 1892 became the 22nd and then the 24th president. And Trump, of course, served one term before, was defeated by Biden, and is back again. Did the result surprise you?
Mr. Manas, like you mentioned, the results were indeed shocking, I must admit. They were shocking. I did anticipate a win for Kamala Harris. But after looking at the factors in terms of the polls that were done and the reason why Americans chose Donald Trump, the two major issues that they voted on were the economy and immigration. The economy in the sense that people are really concerned about how you're going to put money in their pockets, how they're going to pay their bills, how they're going to buy food, how they're going to keep their family sustained. And to immigration, where Donald Trump, spoke at length on immigration and gave the impression or basically painted a picture that the Biden administration had really mishandled immigration, where it was at a horrible state. Perhaps some of that included disinformation, but those were the two major issues, the economy and the border in terms of immigration. So after looking at that, the results were not surprising after the fact, must I say. I then understood why Americans chose Donald Trump. You might ask, but he had all of the legal challenges. He has been this controversial candidate. There were some concerns with Kamala Harris in terms of what her issues were. some of the things that she focused on were not necessarily bread and butter issues.
Mm.
I'm not saying that they weren't very important, but they weren't bread and butter issues. People wanted to know how you were going to ensure that they eat and how they get money in their pockets, and people wanted to ensure that their borders were going to be protected. It's the same here in the Caribbean in St. Kitts and Nevis. We want to ensure that people enter our country legally. They're here making a contribution, they're making an honest living, and they are not violating the law. And that is what the Trump campaign team focused on, telling people, whether he misled them or not, how he was going to save the economy, and two, how he was going to handle the immigration issue. Some people may not be in a line or in agreement with what he said, but when you look at the results of the election, the majority of Americans agreed with him in terms of immigration and in terms of the economy.
Now, a lot of people around the world look to the United States as a bastion of democracy. Of course, for a lot of them, that has changed since Donald Trump. Did you see anything there which we could adopt to improve our electoral system in St. Kitts and Nevis?
I must say, when we visited a polling station in Kalamazoo, Michigan, so we were given the opportunity to observe. We went in the polling station, a similar setup to what we have here in St. Kitts and Nevis, where you have your private voting area. The only difference I saw basically was how they have really improved their system in terms of the electronic voting.
Mm-hmm.
And even when you go to check your name, everything is basically, well, most things are electronic, right? But there is something that we must adapt here in St. Kitts and Nevis, Mr. Manners, and is, we have an electoral commission, we have the electoral office. We really need to put more focus in ensuring that there is transparency and accountability in our electoral system, specifically how our electoral office is governed. Over the years, Mr. Manners, we have heard of complaints where things are not done the way they're supposed to be done over the years. People have issues about the fairness, accountability. People have issues about how voter registration is done, how the implementation of reforms, which in most cases, we don't really have any reforms. People are really concerned about the potential for political interference from even both sides. And so that is something that we really need to adapt. You didn't get much of that. Well, I didn't see much of that in the U.S. It seemed to me like a very fair process. And it is something that we should definitely adapt here. The second thing that I wanted to make mention of, Mr. Manners, it may seem simple, but voter education and awareness. Yes, people may say that, I know about voting, whether I'm voting for the green team, the blue team, red, yellow, or whoever. But voter education and awareness in terms of why are you voting? What are the issues you're voting on? Do you think your vote is going to make a difference to vote, or you don't vote? Improved voter accessibility. These are things that we really need to not take for granted. So two major things: voter education, which I saw a lot of when you went to the polling station. There were people there explaining to you the entire process. We assume that because we have a 98% literacy rate, that people are very clear on the issues and very clear on voter education. But these are things that we need not to take for granted.
Okay. Tomorrow you get back to regular programming. You will be sitting in the chair for The Edge on ZIZ. And of course, on Sunday, the NRP convention comes up. Theme: navigating challenges, restoring hope, preparing for governance. How do you intend to make the experience work on your day job, basically, and on the political landscape here?
Sorry, Mr. Mudd, you were breaking up. I didn't hear the last part of the question.
Yeah, basically I'm saying you're back on the job tomorrow at ZIZ, and then on Sunday the NRP convention, Navigating Challenges, Restoring Hope, Preparing for Governance. So I'm trying to find out how your experiences on the U.S. mainland will impact your work here in the Federation, your day job, and on the political landscape.
Well, firstly, with my job as a journalist, there's something that I would want to do here in St. Kitts and Nevis, which I observed there in the U.S. So we went to a high school, Mr. Manners, the Norwich High School in Michigan. I was very much surprised to see that they have journalism classes there, where they are preparing 15, 16-year-olds who are interested in joining the media profession for the media profession. And so they're not waiting until they get to college or university to prepare them. They are preparing them now. I would like to see something similar here in St. Kitts and Nevis, and media literacy in terms of getting our young professionals trained. Whether you're a professional in any area, getting them trained in terms of how to deal with the media, especially if you're somebody who is always in the spotlight. The tough questions are going to come, the cameras are going to come, the lights are going to come, and if people know how to navigate the media landscape as somebody who is, whether you're a politician or a very popular person, it would be beneficial for you, it would be beneficial for your career, and it would be beneficial for the organization that you represent. So having media literacy classes in schools at the secondary level is something that I would definitely be pushing for. And there were some things that I learned in the United States. Well, not necessarily learned, but it was fortified in the sense that always ensure that you're reporting the accurate information to build trust between you and members of the public, and things like the truth is sandwich, and ensure that you have credible sources. Now, in terms of the politics, Mr. Manners, what I want is for us to listen to the people. Sometimes we're going to say, man, they ain't know what they're saying. They're just making noise. They're just complaining. But let the U.S. elections be a wake-up call, if you understand where I'm coming from, in terms of the issues that people voted on. People, and as harsh as it may seem, Mr. Manners, people care about how they're going to pay their bills and how they're going to feed their families. And you must present plans and ideas that would support that. People care about how safe they feel. And so you must present plans and ideas that would support that.
Okay.
Right?
Go ahead.
No. That's it.
Yeah, okay. Well, Rohan would like, I'm sure, to extend congratulations to you and maybe ask a question or two. Rohan?
Maybe not so much questions, but just to extend personally my congratulations to you on the successes you would have had, lessons learned during your trip abroad. That is one of the things that is instrumental in how, as a party, we move forward. I'm big on opportunities, and I think that is well known. I speak a lot about granting opportunities to young people, and it's remarkable when our young people are granted opportunities that they don't necessarily have to raise their hands for and say, pick me. And I think Devon has demonstrated his worth in terms of media within the confines of St. Kitts and Nevis. What is particularly pleasing for me is that I'm sure his counterparts in the US would have valued his contributions while they're in the US, and that is what is important for us, ensuring that our young people are able to not just use and hone their skills at home, but to demonstrate that they are just as good or better than many in the age bracket. And so congratulations to you, Devon. Look forward to I know having had experiences and opportunities like that, there is always the zest and zeal to come back home and to share what you would have learned, and so look forward to the opportunities where you yourself now becomes a great agent of change, setting ideas and plans to move journalism among young people in a direction that is worth looking at, and that is something that is very pleasing to me. So again, congratulations to you. Belated birthday greetings as well, and yeah, look forward to hearing
Great things.
more of those things from you as well.
Devon, finally, your colleague Doc Brown is listening in Antigua. He'll be joining us in a while. I'm sure you would like to extend congratulations to him.
Absolutely. So I'm taking this opportunity to congratulate Doc on his accomplishment. As Rohan said earlier, it is always good when young people make it known that they have a contribution to make towards the development of Nevis, and I think with the accomplishment that Doc has had here is basically a testament of his caliber, is a testament of what he has to bring to the table, and is a testament of what he intends to do here in St. Kitts and Nevis. So again, congratulations to you, Doc, and best wishes for the road ahead. Thank you, Mr. Manners.
Well, thank you so much, and congratulations. So, Doc Brown, give us a call. Of course, in the Federation, Rohan, there are some programs aimed at promoting young people, highlighting their achievements. In Nevis, for instance, there's Impact 12. In the Federation, there's the 25 Remarkable Teens. I was really shocked. I think it was November 6th. I walked into my living room. ZIZ was on, and they were advertising that in a moment they will have the 25 Remarkable Teens. So I watched that. Nevis had 3 of 25. I think we've got Doc Brown on the line. Good evening, Doc, from Wadadli, Antigua. How are you?
Good evening, Mr. Manners. I am very well.
Rohan Isles is with us as well.
Good night, Mr. Isles.
Good night, Mr.
Yeah, well, congratulations on your new appointment. I noticed the WICB announced that you're the masseuse. According to my English, that's a female, so I think they made an error. So I've corrected that to monsieur. And by my reckoning,
I think massage therapist is a better way of explaining it.
Okay, so you must say that to the media person who works with WICB, because all around the world I've been getting messages asking why they're referring to you as a masseuse, a young sprightly gentleman like you. But as I was saying, by my reckoning, you are, and I stand to correction, the youngest person to hold that post. What has happened since your appointment?
Well, I got to Antigua on Friday, and we've just been training, just been preparing for this, for the test match starting on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
It has been quite different. I didn't expect to be here at this time.
Uh-huh.
I was in Trinidad with the Leeward Islands team for the Super 50 tournament. So a bit of a change in pace, but I'm very grateful to be here and just looking forward to the challenge ahead.
Why are you surprised? I've listened to you on this program and on other media, and you're obviously a forward-looking person. You've qualified yourself. You have a Bachelor of Science in Sports Conditioning, Rehabilitation, and Massage from Cardiff Metropolitan University. So you have prepared yourself well.
Yeah, but I think sometimes when we look ahead, it's good, but I try not to look too far ahead. I think there was a lot, and there still is a lot for me to accomplish within the Leeward Islands organization. And I was very much just, prepared to do that and had that intention. I didn't really expect to be here, but like I said, grateful nonetheless. And it's a challenge that I'm looking forward to, and something that I've dreamed of since I was a little boy. To watch my father do it for as long as he did, and to know be granted the opportunity to walk in his footsteps, quite literally. It's a very touching moment for me, I must say.
Yeah, I think your father did it for about 9 years for the West Indies team and was in the dressing room for sure when we won in 2016 the World Cup in in India or Bangladesh?
And the one in 12 as well.
Yes, so he has been in winner's circle. So, despite the surprise, would you say you've hit the ground running?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I said, I got here on Friday, and it's just been preparing. We would have had a practice match that ended today between the President's 11 and the Bangladesh team. So, been quite busy. But like I said, just been good. Been trying to soak up the moment. Sometimes it's hard to really have a true understanding of what's happening because you're living it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that when this tour is over and I get a little downtime at home, I'll look back and say, oh, well.
Just pinch yourself. Oh, I did it. Now, one youngster from your parish, St. James, Troy Nisbet, this year became the first non-athlete, swimmers are athletes too, but he became the first from the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis to represent the Federation at the Summer Olympics in a sport other than running. Your thoughts on that? How did that make you feel? He was only 15 years old.
I think it was very good to see because I think that we need to see performance sport as more than just a hobby. So I would love to see more people going in that direction of wanting to be high performance athletes, and I think that by doing that gives other people the belief that that they can do it. I think now it's just for us as a community to provide the facilities and the personnel around him to help him to maximize on his potential. I think that when you get opportunities like this at such a young age, it is important for the wider community to then now build out that infrastructure and to build that capacity to help other people to achieve similar things.
Go ahead.
Maximize that.
Okay. Dr. Janice Daniel Hodge, the party leader, recently mounted a mural in St. James highlighting the achievements of Troy, but also his coach, James Weeks. I want to believe, I'm scouring my mind, if that has ever been done in St. James for a cricketer or a sports person of any kind.
Not as far as I know, and I love the idea because I think that these are the kind of recognition that people need. I think our Division stars are often loved abroad, but that love isn't always seen and felt when you're at home. So I think that it's very good that our party leader has taken that initiative to do that, because I think it really does show people that, hey, well, the world is watching and the world is proud of you, and to keep doing what you're doing.
Okay, finally, I want you to make a pitch to other young people in Nevis, letting them know that they can aspire to greatness. And as Devon did for you, I want you to congratulate him as well in wrapping up.
Well, definitely. I want to first say congratulations to Devon. I don't think that this opportunity could have been given to anybody better. His dedication to media and journalism has been something amazing for me to watch. I am a big fan. I try to listen in as much as I can. His words often inspire me, and his dialogue and his style of conversation is something that I'm really proud to see. His evolution as a journalist as well, and for the younger generation, I think it's important to dream, and in dreaming, I think that something I've been trying to tell myself is that opportunity has to find you working. And sometimes you may not know what opportunities there are out there, but it's important for you to steady course, regardless of the circumstances whatever they may be. I think that it's important to believe in yourself, believe in your craft, and work as hard as possible, because you never know who is watching.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to be on the international scene within 2 years of finishing school, but I mean, yeah, something to impress, and I hope that it inspires other young people to dream.
Yeah, well, I said finally, but now finally. When you were in the studio, sitting on my right, Devon Cornelius on my left, you pulled up your sleeve and showed me a tattoo of the MV Christina, because your grandfather, Franklin Brown, is the oldest known survivor of the Christina disaster, and people like Augustine Merchant, Alistair Rollins, the late Charles Busu, Joseph Wilshire, told me on many occasions that when he was headmaster at the Zion School, he inspired a generation of cricketers. He went out even as headmasters and played with the boys. What has he said to you since your elevation? How do you think it makes him feel?
I think it makes my grandfather feel very proud, because I think it was just 2 months ago that me and my aunt were speaking, and she told me about what he would have done in schools and bringing cricket into the schools. I think that, sometimes we don't know how it's going to go. Sometimes we hear these stories and we don't know if we are ever going to be able to contribute as significantly. But I think that he is proud. I know that my family is very proud of me, and I know that the division public is very proud of me. So I'm just here to continue to wave the flag as high as possible and to keep us proud.
Thank you, Doc. Go well, and tell the West Indian boys we need some wins under our belt, and I know that your work on their bodies will help them tremendously. Go well.
All right, thank you very much, and I'm hoping to see you guys in crickets when we get there for the one day leg of the tour.
We certainly have to do that. So have a good night. Hello to the West Indian guys.
All right, thanks.
Okay, thanks a lot. We've got 7 minutes after 9. We'll take a break. And then when we come back, Rohan Isles speaking about youth issues moving forward.
Your voice with the NRP. This and every Monday, 8:30 to 10 p.m. Join host Stephen Semanas and the NRP candidates as they amplify your voice.
And since we're talking about the party leader, Dr. Janice Daniel Hodge, I'm sure she'll be happy if I tell you that St. James Appreciation Breakfast, hosted by Dr. Janice Daniel Hodge, will be held on Saturday, November 23rd, the day before convention, next to Cabo's shop in Fountain, starting at 7 a.m. There are some numbers to call if you need more information. I don't have those numbers, but it's on a flyer that's all over Facebook. The party leader making great strides in St. James, not only with the breakfast and showing appreciation, but with mounting the mural in tribute to Troy Nesbitt and James Weeks.
Yeah, as usual, party leader continues to lead with excellence. And that is the NRP way. We continue to make people the center of what we do. And, if that kind of mentality was to be emulated across the US, we'd probably run out of space for murals like those. There's so many people that are deserving of that particular acknowledgement. And we just want to continue to make our citizens, whether it is in athletics or any particular discipline, to feel appreciated in their accomplishments. It is good to see that Dark is, has been elevated to the position that he has and continues in the excellence of his father, I must say, and it bodes well. I mean, hopefully down the line, son or daughter for Dark will follow in that particular lineage. What is important for our people to understand, Steve, is that feel-good stories in families translates to generational successes. Mm-hmm. It is something for young people to look forward to. Mommy did this and daddy did that. Aunt was able to do that. Uncle has accomplished that. There is something to aspire to. And it is often the inspiration that we get from our family members that gives us the extra pull, that drives us a little further. And we want to be able to put all families in that position that they are able to move forward, to break generational curses, and to have success in whatever measure they feel comfortable, that they can see, I would have done my part in assisting younger generations of my family. It also translates to stronger communities. You have a collection of families that are doing well in varying disciplines. It gives a feel-good story within the community. And when people feel good about themselves, when they feel good about their contributions, they work a little harder. And when you have industrious communities, it spells well for economies, because strong communities make for stronger economies, and stronger economies opens wider opportunities. And so we see a full circle of what is possible when we allow our young people to be exposed to opportunities, not just on the quality side, but the equity is important as well. And so that it is not just we saying there is opportunity, but the access to the opportunity is real, and the results therein must be real as well. And that is why I continue to push that, even in our desire to have the physical infrastructure, that the human capital must match or exceed those. And so that we have a cadre of coaches at different levels. I've been speaking about this for a very long time. And so that the young Imanis can move from one level of football to the next. And coaches can be comfortable in saying, listen,
well,
I've done...
You said Imani.
Yeah.
That's a reference to the top player from St. Thomas's. But there's a young Ronnie as well.
The same person. So Ronnie Imani. We call her Imani.
Oh, I thought...
Ronnie's,
what's the name of that
so
star?
Jemar Rollins.
Yeah. The tall guy, number 12 or 14.
Very 14, with his skill set. That you can have coaches that are saying, listen, I've done my bit. This is as far as I can take you. I can pass you on to a coach at a higher level. And we continue to build on those types of relationships. Because at the end of the day, when one of us succeed, you and I, and I'm sure many divisions and the Caribbean nationals, that feeling of watching our brothers and sisters on the international stage, it gives you that kind of feeling that says, that is me. And we want that to be opportunity for all of our young people. Sports, whether it is in education, whether it is in technology. What I am hoping for under our new government is that the opportunities are so many we have a problem. That we can't fully satisfy some of these areas, and we have to say, maybe we need to do X, Y, and Z. But we have to provide the opportunities, and we have to provide real access to them. We have to provide real support for our young people who want to participate in certain disciplines. If Troy, who has done most of his swimming in the ocean, and for those of us who follow would know swimming in the ocean and swimming in an Olympic pool, two totally different experiences. And he can, at 15, make it to the highest level of international sporting discipline. Then what is possible if we were to give him an Olympic-sized pool? That is real opportunity. That is real access to the opportunity. And that is what we want. We should have been now, before he got on a plane to venture off to France, making plans to install an Olympic-sized pool. That by 19, he is more than ready and be qualified on merit to attend the Los Angeles Games, I think, in 2028. That is what we are to. Listen, elected members of government have one singular purpose, and that is to give quality experiences in life. That is all people elect you to do. As I've said many a times, the beginning and the end really have no value. It is what you experience in between that has the value. And so we want to be able to change family fortunes through opportunities. We want to be able to build out new economies through opportunities. Because when you have opportunities and people begin to network, you see wonders. We speak about how the Mondo Surface was designed for the winter training. Networking is built out of those opportunities to go to the Olympic Games. And not just for athletes, but when our coaches go to those games, the opportunities as well. And so we want there to be real opportunities, Steve. We want there to be opportunities in many disciplines. I am hoping and looking forward to being able to watch the Summer Olympics and to see Troy not just present, but be competing with the very best of them globally. To see a young Jamal, whether it's in the Spanish League, whether it is in the EPL, the English League, whether it is in the American League, because raw natural talent like those, when harnessed and given real opportunities, bring absolutely wonderful rewards. They can change fortunes of families. And those are the opportunities we are hoping to, as a government, to bring to our people. Not just to say these things are present, but to give them that sense that yes, they are present, and the people who have the resources, the technical know-how, who have the willpower to impact change, that they are fully behind the mission. Devon spoke so rightly about the experience where 15-year-olds are being taught journalism. And our young people are so interested in a wide variety of things. We have got to provide opportunities. Nevis is no longer just the 36 square miles. We operate now in a global environment, and we must prepare our students and our youngsters to grasp the opportunities that are available globally and to shine on the world stage like we know they can, and only through real opportunities, Steve, that they can do that. And I am comfortable in the fact that an NRP administration led by Dr. Daniel Hodge, who is creative, very creative. You listen to the party leader speak and you marvel at the things that she is eager to do. And it is easy for us as her colleagues to work in and to operate in that vein, thinking outside of the proverbial box, and to bring real opportunities and to really build out a new division economy where our young people are the strength and the backbone of where we go and how we go.
The lines are open. You can call us at 766-7312, 669-7312, 469-7953. Congratulate both Devon and Dark, or any young person in our community doing extraordinary things. On the morning of August 1st, I left the Christina Memorial and went down to the Social Security building, because on that very day, earlier in the morning, time difference, Troy had done his swim in Paris, France. And I was aware that his father, Tony, his uncle, or great uncle, I think that would be, Tony Nisbet, had perished on the Christina. And I thought it ironic that at 15 years he was braving the waters when so many Nevisians are afraid and can't swim in a 36 square mile island where water is everywhere. And his mother said to me categorically in that interview that we need an Olympic swimming-sized pool, because Troy, by my recollection, has gone to 3 different meets. It might be more so far this year, and has improved his time, his personal time, on every occasion. It baffles my mind. And I think it calls for a change of mindset. How is it that Troy Nisbet, with all of that, is not one of the 25 remarkable teams, and Nevis had only 3 of 25. Ron J. Daniel, who his father Ron said was nominated by petition, Kyla Claxton, and Zion Harding. So I think it calls for a greater appreciation of Nevisians for what the young people are doing. I know it's easy to say, oh, Sinkits is hogging everything. They want everything. But it was instructive that one Nevisian wrote on Facebook that Nevisians are reluctant. They do not put people forward. And the other thing that she said, there's a very difficult or strenuous vetting process. And like what Devon said, a lot of the Nevisians do not present themselves well in the interview process. So it's not just saying, oh, Sinkits want everything. We're at fault in many cases. Was Troy and Linsbeth nominated? What about the other young people around here? So Nevisians have to change their mindset. Give us a call, please. Tell us about the young people in your community who are doing well, doing extraordinary things. Now we go towards the convention on Sunday. Very interesting theme, navigating challenges, restoring hope, preparing for governance. And I want you to take each part of it separately. What do you see as some of the challenges facing young people in Nevis?
Well, I mean, the theme lends itself.
We've got a caller.
Sure.
Let's take that caller. Good evening, caller. Welcome to Your Voice with the NRP with Rohan Isles.
Good night. Good night.
Steve
Good
and
night,
Rohan.
Steve,
Yeah?
and good night to all the youngsters them there. I want to congratulate Devon and the other youngster, especially Devon.
Give me a minute.
Because-
Give me a minute. Caller on the landline. We'll get to you as soon as possible. Don't lose patience. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, Devon has so much potential to develop into a hell of a journalist. When I saw a young man in Bastille Force and he interviewed a couple people, I look at him, I say, well, this young man could develop into a hell of a journalist. Just like, you know, the guy from Dominica who died the other day. Devon is a quiet fellow. He's nice, he's approachable. You got any story, you can pull him aside and talk with him. And I think he got a lot of potential and he going to reach far. And I supporting him all the way. All the young boys them. But stay off of drugs and smoke, eh? Have a good day.
Yeah,
Have a good night, Steve.
Yeah, thank you very much. The lines are going berserk. We'll go first to the caller on the landline. I think we lost that one, and the caller on the landline has disappeared as well. We're inviting both of you to call back. Sorry about that. We'll get to you as soon as possible. So, challenges facing young people on Nevis. Callers, do call us back. We want to hear what you've got to say.
Yeah, as I was saying, the theme really, if you look at it, is a spiral upward.
All right, let's take this one on the cell phone. Good evening, caller.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Manager. Good evening,
evening.
Mr. Adams.
Good night.
Yeah, this program augurs quite nicely with a post I made today on my Facebook page. And it is recognizing the young people. And especially this is the time for the young people of St. James's. So while I'm at that, let me just take a few seconds to congratulate Master Troy and his bit dark brown. And then there's one other young lady. She does not reside in Nevis right now, but she hails from the village of Brooklyn.
Cassie Hicks.
Her name is... Huh?
Is that Cassie Hicks?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she is a nominee for the Caribbean Baking Awards to be held in Tortola next month, I think the 22nd of February. not next month, next year, sorry, 22nd of February. Congratulations to her as well. And I'm asking persons to go. You can visit my page and, vote for her. She's the only person from Nevis. Well, St. Kitts Nevis, I think. But definitely the only person from Nevis. But again, this is the year for the St. James's youths. And I want to say congratulations to all of them. And I wish them all the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll have to check your pulse later. Caller on the landline. Now is your turn to get in. While we hear from Devin again, from Rowan again.
Yeah, the theme really.
Okay,
Sure.
We've got that caller. Good evening, caller. Welcome to Your Voice with the NRP. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, we've got you now.
Hello.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
hearing
hearing
you
you.
loud
Go
and
ahead.
clear.
Good night, Mr. Manners
Hi,
and
good night.
Mr. Iris.
Good night, good
I am here. Congratulating the young people who making their contribution to the country. But I trust and hope that the government would be able to continue sponsor them and refurbish them and they go move further. And I believe the young people is the way today and the way forward to develop our country. If no development with young people, we could be in trouble because those who are willing, they are not able anymore. So you have to upgrade the young people, look at them, and let them go forward. Give them the push, give them the courage, encouragement to go forward to enhance our country. Otherwise, we could be in trouble. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Great sentiments there.
Yeah, surely. As I wait for the other callers to come in, so the theme has that spiral effect, navigating challenges. Through that, we begin to restore hope as we prepare for governance, and particularly pleased with the word, the use of governance, because it is the foundation of all things good when it comes to how leadership works. When you speak of challenges for our young people, they quite a few, and opportunities begin the listing. But we get deeper into the reality of some of the challenges our young people face. Training in whatever discipline that they want to get into. There is political interference, family background, fear, and lack of exposure. And those are at the heart of some of the challenges our people face. And sometimes you speak to young people and they say, "Boy, I will not get that opportunity because of who my parents are." And that often, puts a stymie on them, trying to raise their hand to say, "Listen, I want to do that." And for me, if we are able to provide, and that is why I speak about the equity of opportunities, that we are really granting opportunities to people and not looking for an excuse not to, or not looking to say, "Boy, that young boy that belongs to XYZ." And so those are some of the real challenges that our young people face, and it is for me incumbent on government and the organs of government to ensure that their plans and policies go, whether it is beyond or around those challenges, and come full circle to the individual and how what we do can positively change the life of the individual and to positively impact families and communities. And so those are some of the challenges our young people encounter. And you can go wider into some of those challenges and say, challenges with substance abuse and all those other things. But when you look at the foundation of those challenges, you're going to come back to certain things. You're always going to come back to not being able to access this or being treated differently. And these are real challenges our young people face. And they'll tell you straight up, "I'm not going to go this place or try to engage in such an activity because even though I am," and these are phrases they'd use, "I'm better than Tom, Dick, and Harry, the opportunity still will not be given to me, and that is unfortunate. And our young people are living those realities, and so for me, I want us to get to a place where we see young people, we see their talent, and we see a future that can improve their life, and that is what I look at when I look at young people. 14 years in the classroom, and it was never a case of where you came from or who you belong to. What I was focused on was how can I help you get to the next step, and how can I get you to see that you are good enough or you are better than, in a sense that motivated you to try harder. So there are many. I mean, I can use one example of a young chap who I sought to engage on the steps of our classroom, and I asked, why do you engage in certain activities, or why do you think people attach certain activities to you? And he said point blank, he said, listen, a lot of these things happen in my community, but it's not me. But over time, and I'm paraphrasing now, I have become the source of those accusations. And this is an 11-year-old at the time. And so I've concluded that if my mother is going to beat me for it, and if the community is going to say that I am the one who did it, you might as well I do it. And so what that was is that as a community we were speaking a certain lifestyle on his life, and he accepted it because he felt defeated within the environment of his home and of his community. Where that power lies in the tongue, we can speak positively into our young people, and we can speak positively over the lives of our young people, and we can give them real access and equity when it comes to opportunities. And so when we talk about challenges, we want to be able to navigate those challenges. How do we conquer those challenges and to restore a brand of hope that is all encompassing, that every single person whom the message touches can appreciate that there is hope for better. And NRP is about bringing hope. We are about inspiring young people, and that is how I see the theme working. We've got to get through the challenges, and in so doing, our actions, being good and positive and wholesome, restores a brand of hope within our people, a hope that we had not too long ago. And that is what I want to see happen for our young people. And then the models of good governance that speaks to ensuring that every single person can achieve the basic. Good governance, maybe this is why the other side have a problem implementing good governance. It doesn't call you to give every single person everything they want. That is not what it asks you. It asks you to honor grassroots, that is at the community level, listening to people, understanding what their basic requirements are, because see, your basic requirements may not necessarily be my basic requirements, but it requires you to give honor to the community grassroots level. We can say 10% of the population is now asking for more affordable housing. 15% is asking for affordable health care. 10% is asking for opportunities in AI and technology or solar panel, whatever it is. And then you go and craft policies and programs that meet the basic threshold of all of these people. What that does is to give a sense of purpose. All right? Government is interested. This is where I have elevated to. I believe I can go further. And when you find 6 out of 10 people saying, listen, I appreciate where you have taken me, so I'm putting up my hand to do a bit more. 60% improvement in how families now live. Because that may very well be 6 new small businesses It may very well be 6 first-time university graduates. It may very well be 6 well-qualified coaches. And as I said earlier, when that is happening, it inspires people who are looking on. And people watch and people pay attention even though they may not. And when that inspiration is had by others, and then there is the confidence that government is using the good governance model, half the battle is won. Because people can operate and say, listen, I know if I can get to the threshold of the basic that I am desiring, then I can move a little further. So we have navigated the challenges. We have accepted what the challenges are. We have sought ways, policies and programs to overcome them, just like the NRP governments in the past, when Hensley Daniel would have instituted a number of programs. We spoke at length about the training program where they were sent off, I think, to Trinidad. And we have seen the benefits therein of that activity. And so we are saying, listen now, we in 2024, we don't want to be sending people off. We want to be bringing the accreditation home. And so we have the programs and the accreditation that people can stay at home and be certified plumbers and be certified electricians. And from there, because we have done so much in as far as assisting them with the basics, one can say, listen, I want to get into a small business. And 5 years down the line, you may be 2 businesses and 3 businesses, and that is what we are hoping to do as an incoming government.
Let's take this. Good evening, caller. Welcome to Your Voice.
Yes, good evening again. You speak about Mr. Hensley Daniel. Mr. Daniel was there under the Honorable Joseph Parry administration, 2006, and he has done a great job. I'm going to put something to the public now. Whether CCM or NRP, Hensley Daniel should have been working with the concerned citizen movement, and they would have get more improvement. But because of some circumstances of political tribalism, they don't want Mr. Daniel. Mr. Daniel, Hensley, wherever you are tonight, I recommend that you go and you put your cards on the table, not for your personal gain, but for the common good of Nevis generally and syndicates, the whole federation. I know if you were there, much things would have been done, much people would have been getting better taken care of, but I don't know what is going on. Put out the politics. Let the politics aside, and let us get down to serious business. Gentlemen and ladies, I am appealing to you all tonight. Get Mr. Daniel to go back in the social services and community department. Get him tomorrow morning and tell him, Mr. Daniel, come in and give us your opinion and your advice, and let us move Nevis and St. forward. Period. Good night, Mr. Manos. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Hensley Daniel has done an amazing job. We boast about the social programs, and without any question, the Nevis and St. Kitts and Nevis has some of the best social programs in the Eastern Caribbean, and maybe the Caribbean as a whole. It was him who introduced many of those. It was under him we had steel band for elderly, all these elderly programs, and of course this government is standing on his shoulders. So proud to see that Spencer Brand, the Honorable Spencer Brand, has introduced stamps for seniors. But that work started under Hensley Daniel. And sadly, of course, he can't be involved with that at the moment. And what the caller is doing is saying we got to get beyond political boundaries and put the right people to work for the betterment of the country. So, folks, we've been dissecting the topic, the theme for Sunday's convention being held at the occasion, navigating challenges, restoring hope, preparing for governance. And before he left the studio tonight, party chairman Carlisle Powell told me he had conversation today with the young speaker coming in from St. Lucia. Her name is Jada Jean-Pierre. She's an attorney, has her own legal practice since March 2023. She's a youth leader, the youngest and first female press secretary to a St. Lucian Prime Minister, communication director for the St. Lucia Labour Party during the 2016 general elections, and first vice president of the St. Lucia National Youth Council. It is said Ms. Pear brings a wealth of experience and strong track record of service to youth, community development, and political engagement. And Carlisle says she's ready to fire up the crowd at the occasion's center. We'll also have speeches by the NRP leader, fraternal greetings from other political parties, and messages from NRP supporters in the diaspora. Before the public session, delegates will elect a new National Executive Committee and address the other important party business. So that starts at 3 o'clock. The general public is invited in. As of 5 o'clock, conventions are very important events in a party's operation.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the featured speaker, Jean-Pierre, and particularly to get her insights on the theme. I am sure that, as the St. Lucia Labour Party would have navigated their own challenges and sought to restore hope, they are now executing that governance model. And so it would be good to get a young perspective on that, and the underlying themes that are going to come out from that, young people, women and family, and how, as a party and NRP, we can re-energize the base, because that is what part and parcel of what conventions do. And so I am sure caretakers, Dr. Bartlett and JD are eager to make their presentations and to start a fire, reignite a passion among our supporters as effectively, I understand, well, one of our supporters said we go straight into local and federal campaign mode. And so, conventions, I enjoy conventions, and we want to invite the party supporting base. If you support the NRP and you want to feel that energy, a convention is for you. You're thinking about giving NRP an opportunity, convention is for you as well. And so we're inviting all. There's a very strong confident message that I think is going to be brought on the theme, and to hear the vision of the party leader as we move forward into the next political cycle. So it's the 23rd. That's on Sunday.
24th.
24th. That's on Sunday, 5 p.m. We'll be there. Hopefully, we run out of seats on that day.
Now, I'm going to be looking keenly in what she says about Julian Alfred. We heard, of course, from Dark earlier what he has achieved, and what he would like to see among young people and young sports people in Nevis. Dark is 24. Julian Alfred was 23 when she got gold in the Paris Olympics in the 100, and the silver to Zachary Richardson in the 200. And what St. Lucia did in celebration of Julian Alfred was amazing.
Yep.
I followed it very closely. The motorcade, of course, from Heronora Airport, her visit to the school where they did a beautiful mural of her, the concert on the Friday night, how she embraced young people. It was amazing. And maybe she should include some of that in her presentation so that she could begin to fire up young people on Nevis as well. Because, of course, we had Kim Collins, who competed in 5 or 6 Olympics and never got a medal. And here is this young lady from St. Lucia getting a gold and a silver. And of course, Dominica got one as well through Mrs. Lafond. Anguilla got one in, I think, the 4x1 or the 200 meters from the Anguillan-born British athlete. And so we want to be on that same level, whipping up people. So I'll be looking for that aspect of her presentation, which must have essence. If you're a proud St. Lucian, tell the stories of how St. Lucia came out to celebrate the outstanding athlete. It was a celebration like I haven't seen in the Eastern Caribbean.
Yeah, it was remarkable to see, and that is what we want to be able to do here. We want to be able to stand proud on the shoulders of our young athletes and to say, this is ours. We did our bit. We did our part. They went out on the international stage and performed, be it in at the Olympics, at FIFA World Cup, wherever they are, that we would have given them the right start. We would have granted them real opportunity and real access. And they haven't gone and made small island of Nevis proud, that we bestow upon them befitting recognition. And I meant it when I said it, that we may very well run out of space to place murals, because we have seen an abundance of raw talent within our schools, among our young people, and we simply just have to find a way to move them continually on different levels. And it is possible. It is really, really possible. And maybe in 10 years' time, we could very well celebrate the region's first Olympic gold in aquatics, in swimming. I believe that is possible. I believe that we can, in 10 years, have young footballers on the international stage. We would have had some in the past. But nothing brings that sense of gladness, emotionally overwhelmed, when on the regional international stage it's in division. I love St. Kitts and Nevis, but there is a different sense of warmth and accomplishment when they see a division athlete. And so I am looking forward to that, and it is, my continued commitment, wherever I am, that I will continue to argue and agitate for giving our young people real opportunities, real access, and equitable access to opportunities to go out there, not just to improve their lives, but to break generational curses and to improve the lives of their families, to build on strong communities, and effectively expand how our economy operates. And it is surely a wonder as to what one athlete, because I am sure St. Lucia will burst at the seams, simply because a 23-year-old young lady got the opportunity, real opportunity, to elevate herself. And what is beauty about that is that she trained in the US, and she was proud to fly that St. Lucian flag when the world looked to US and other big countries to dominate in the 100 meters. It was the St. Lucian who...
Helen of the West.
Yeah, and so I can understand the sense of pride and purpose that the St. Lucians are feeling. That is what we want for our young people. That is what I want for our young people, and to be able to say, I was there when Troy came home dangling Olympic gold. So I was this place when young Jamar scored winning goal for his club in England. That is what should happen when you are granted opportunities to be in position to effect change.
There's a young player who plays for Joyceland Lightwood Primary.
Young Kelvin, that is.
Brilliant player. Had a little chat with him on I think it was the semi-final stage. And his aunt told me that she had been to a cruise in the Mediterranean. And he came up to her and said, "You ever been to Barcelona?" And she said, "You don't remember? I went on a cruise several years ago." And he said to her, "Save up your money because you're going to have to go back." He didn't get a lot of service in was it the finals? Brilliant, small player, very pugnacious. He didn't get the service and so was a bit strangled. But he's somebody we have to keep our eyes on. Yeah. He's got a heart of gold. Now, 10 minutes to 10, that's all the time we've got. It's a cold and rainy night here in Nevis, so we won't do any overtime. Our leaders come to us this week. The Prime Minister comes for a press conference. The Premier comes with a press conference on Thursday, the Prime Minister on Wednesday. I would think they ought to be charting a course moving towards a budget in early December and into 2025. Now, we're talking about navigating challenges. One of the challenges that we will certainly have is that revenues are down. The revenues from the CBI took a steep decline, down to 218 million up to September. What do you expect to hear from our leaders as they come to us Wednesday and Thursday, respectively?
Sure. I mean, even before I get to that, I just want to also point out that, in Joyce and Liber, there's a youngster they call Little Messi. He's very good as well. Ivor Walters had two very outstanding players as well, their striker and their goalkeeper. They were very good as well. And so, all of those in the fray as I continue to talk about our natural or raw talent. What do I want to hear is a consistent message of hope. The reality is that many of our families are struggling. They are struggling in terms of their finances. And, we can take a cue from, as you said, the receipts are down from the CBI. And so a lot of things that we were hoping to have happen hasn't happened. And I'm sure you've heard the cry of the dividends that were promised and no longer being paid. And so families are struggling. Families are struggling at the supermarkets. Families are struggling with utility bills. Families are struggling with providing for their families in the most basic of ways. There are too many discussions on the bedside, on the couch, in the doorway about which bill suffers this week or this month and how much to go on this and how much to go on that, and only for you to be left stressed out, in tears, pulling out your hair, and a constant wondering of how do I survive until next pay. I know we have spoken about how many of us live hand to mouth. The reality has come a lot stronger, and this is happening for many families we consider in the middle class that really shouldn't have those kind of issues. And so you can imagine what is happening at the lower end of that economic status, and how larger families, you find smaller families are crying. You can imagine a family with 4 and 6 young children and young teenagers, because you know the dynamics of our young people when they get into that adolescent and pre-adolescent phase. Too many of our conversations are not about putting money aside for the quote-unquote rainy day, because it rains every day. Not enough conversations about which direction we want our children to go in terms of education and opportunities. There is not enough conversation about what we can plan for. Simple things like vacations are non-existent. And so I am hoping that there is a real message backed with plans and policies that lifts the spirit.
Let's take this caller. Good evening, caller. Welcome to Your Voice with the NRP.
Mr. Manos, good night.
Hi, good night.
Good night to all your listeners. Ron, good night.
Good night. Good night.
Yes, and let me big up your swimmer, your massager, your journalist, your
You're doing well.
whatsoever. And yeah, and let me big up Ron too, because I understand that he got one data there that
Outstanding.
Don't tell him his own instruction.
Hey, you know what he just said to me?
I say.
She's half monstration. His grandfather played for the Emerald Isle. Rohan, tell him the name.
Biza was the last name.
Okay. And maybe they want funeral Saturday. I will bury 102-year-old. And the flower tell me that your half is a monstration to Mr. Manuel.
My half?
Yeah.
No, Rohan's half.
My half.
Rohan's half.
Oh.
My half is division to the core.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, Ron, I'm sorry for cutting, but because you say well, you just got about 10 minutes and one rainy, cold night, but I mean, Ron, end of speech, I think you're going to even hear that they're from neither the Premier or the Prime Minister. So, I guess that you might just have to just set up yourself now, like for a shadow minister, shadow something, because
He's the man for youth.
Mr. Manners, Mr. Manners, I would have problem right through. Even up here too. You see, I come the night after night and I deal with issues. But if you go and do a survey, you might even recognize that the amount of people don't even deal with issues. You see? So this motivation only just one few. You see, like the caller calling there talk about get back Hensley Day. When? What time? You get me? Because politics are going to play a part. Country first, that's the way it's supposed to be, but you know, not that the way you go be. You get what I'm saying? Because CCM and NRP are going to play on great factor. And if although we supposed to put country first, and when progress supposed to make, if you do bring back Hensley Day, people are going to say about one different light. Some people, not all people, some people are going to say about one different light. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the whole point about it, we don't know how we go really get, this motivation across to our people and them, and really put up issues. Because look, I will just go to an election, right? And when you talk to plenty people, look, then some of them don't even know what the candidates are saying. Because what happened, you see, like, we shift back to you. Either NRP in their head or CCM in their head. Just that. So, me just don't want to see Mr. Manners go there. If Mr. Manners now can move mountains, you get me?
Yeah.
That no interests me. Me just don't want to see Mr. Manners in power. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is the motivation. The motivation is I get people motivated and say, listen to me. Let we see the country move on and forget about this party politics. Now, when government no power, you see now do nothing. You see now make no progress. You see now. But next election, you still jump up on the bandwagon and put it back there. Okay then, that's enough for then.
Thank you, caller.
Good.
Yeah,
All right,
you say that we come here every week and we talk about issues. This is what we hear from the other side.
Money yesterday. I like to talk about money, When I say talk about money, I like making money. money. And when the NRP continue talk, people continue to make money. And those who get fed up of hearing of me, well, so be it. Because let me tell you something, I'll talk about it every month. That's why I say every penny that the government pays to Latoya and myself is money is well spent. But look here.
Money. Ronald, it's 1 minute past 10. Let me remind people in St. James Appreciation Breakfast, hosted by Dr. Janice Daniel Hodge, Saturday morning, 7 a.m. That's November 23rd, next to Kabu Shop. Then, on Sunday, wow, we'll take this caller. Good evening, caller.
Yes, Mr. Manners, I congratulate you for the good work you and Mr. Ives is doing, and I congratulate the Honorable Janice Daniel Hodge that she will be having something, a breakfast, but I trust and hope that they would do what the people said. We need to know what is going on with the young people. The young people is asking me question, and I give them a little simple answer. We're going to get there. All you have to do what it is right. Do what is right. Mr. Manos, good night. Mr. Ives, good night, and may God bless you all.
Yes, good
night. May God be praised.
Okay, so on Sunday, November 24th, the Grand Convention at occasions on the Bypass Road. The theme, Navigating Challenges, Restoring Hope, Preparing for Governance. And the speaker comes out of St. Lucia, Jada Jean-Pierre. We hear that she's a brilliant speaker, and she's very pretty, as the flyer indicates. So everybody, come there at 5 p.m. Sunday afternoon to be energized as we move forward into the future. It's 3 minutes after 10. Your final words, Rohan, and of course your pitch to the good people of St. Thomas's constituency.
Well, I just want to encourage as many of us in St. Thomas's to show up at Convention 2024 as we continue to impress upon our people the ideas, the plans and policies that the party holds dear, knowing fully well that those ideals, those plans, those policies are geared towards improving the quality of life of all of us. We believe in money too, but we believe that it is important that our constituents are the ones making money. That is why we are elected, and not for us to demonstrate that level of self-greed that we feel the desire to have to speak about money every month. We want our people to be living comfortable, having livable incomes, and that is why we are encouraging our people to come out to convention on Sunday, the 24th. Steve, as I said, I hope we run out of chairs. It's going to be electric. It's going to be an atmosphere.
The lawn is big.
Yeah. That reminds us of why NRP has always been better
for Nevis.
Best for Nevis.
That's our show. With us tonight, Rohan Isles, caretaker for constituency number 5. And of course, to all our callers, thank you for calling in. To our invited guests, Dark Brown in Antigua, and Devon Cornelius, fresh from observing the United States general elections, presidential elections. We'll be back here next Monday when we'll have with us the party leader. We'll review the convention. We'll bring you clips from the outstanding speeches made the day before. Make sure you join us 8:30 next Monday night for another edition of Your Voice with the NRP, where political discourse in the Federation reaches its apex. Good night.
Your Voice with the NRP. This and every Monday, 8:30 to 10 p.m. Join host Stephen Semanas and the NRP candidates as they amplify your voice. Ready
to bring fresh color and style into your home? It's the Color and Style Savings Event at Hospital Building and Neva Centers. Right now, get 25% off all paints and tiles store-wide. Transform any room with vibrant paints or refresh your floors with stunning tiles. And with 25% off, there's no better time to give your space that beautiful upgrade. So head to Hospital Building and Neva Centers and make your dream